Craftin' buddies, it's late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, and I am coming to you at midnight. So it just turned into November 6th, but I'm posting this as November 5th because I can. It's my video, right? So thanks for joining me. Let me get my devices up here so I can check to see if anybody's joining me live. I usually get a little announcement on my iPad. But that one doesn't want to come up. Let me, oh, that's weird. It went after another one. We'll get rid of the volume there. Sela, where have you been, girl? You haven't been around for a while. I think even last night or the night before, I asked if anybody else had seen you lately. I think YouTube might have changed things again. Hello, Linda from Modesto, California. All right, I think we're good to go. Got both of my devices up, so I think we're there. I think we're doing all right. I have been kind of busy putzing in the studio most of the day today. I've got a craft fair on Saturday. One of the gals on my team came over, excuse me, and took advantage of my bag sale that I was having, that I started the end of October. Well, it's good to take your me time and catch up on some sleep. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not at all. So, sorry, I'm moving out my stuff here, kind of getting rid of some dust under my glass mat here. So, a couple of my quick announcements. It's a great time to join my team anytime if you're in the United States. Send me a message if you've got any interest in that. November 12th, Stampin' Up! Is doing a Craft and Create. So this is a free live crafting event. So it'll be November 12th at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So that's Utah time here in the United States. And I will be hosting, I think I already have it on my calendar, a live watch party where we can go ahead and craft along with whoever's going to lead that from Stampin' Up. It'll be fun. Stampin' Up has another Brushed with Beauty virtual craft class, or I should say another craft class with a new bundle, or a new suite rather, Brushed with Beauty. That's going to be on November 20th. So just like in October, this is a class that you can purchase. You'll get all of the cutting diagrams, the layout, the PDFs, and all of that stuff. Plus, you get a couple of hours worth of direct class time, basically, online with the Stampin' Up! Designers and concept artists. So that'll be fun. There's already a list of extra supplies. This suite just became available November 4th. And once you order the class, which is this 170074, once you order the class, you get an email that gives you the link to all of the resources that you'll need ahead of time. It's a good idea to get everything prepped for your class beforehand so that you've got everything cut out. And, you know, if you're working with the suite, otherwise find stuff in your stash and start getting your stuff prepped ahead of time, because my understanding, and I have to confess, I haven't watched my October class yet, and I need to do that. They'll move along, so there's not a whole lot of time to cut those things. So this first one, Traditions of Christmas, was still available yesterday. I didn't check today, but they did 3 cards and 1 3D item. I'm not sure what this one's going to be. I got my email the other day. I purchased mine on the 4th, so I need to get caught up with that. But with that class, the October class, We got, looks like 9. Yeah, 9 pages of instructions. So you get all of the cutting. First, you get all of the general instructions. You get the cutting diagrams for the papers. You get the die cutting instructions, and then you get what you use for each project and how to put it together. So it's a pretty good deal. And then don't forget about this 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. This is not a Christmas set. I spent 12 days going through and making various projects from the recipes that Stampin' Up! Provided. But this is an all-occasion kit. But based on the box, I think a lot of people think it's a Christmas thing, but it's more like a Christmas gift. So you get a stamp set, you get some dies, you get all kinds of, there's paper and masking, decorative masks, there's glitter paint, there's 2 different kinds of embellishments, there's, what else? Designer series paper. That's all exclusive to this kit. And these are just a few of the things that we made with, I think this is from a different set, actually. I think both of these are from a different set. But this one is from here for sure. This was the Craft Along. This was from another kit. So anyway, I have so many cards going around right here right now. It's been crazy. So let me put this aside. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do a scrapbooking workshop kit and get that prepped, or if I just wanted to do a regular kit. So this month I'll probably be doing up some samples for some kits, because I am going to be having a Come and Kit It event, at least one. I'll probably have 2 different time blocks later in the month, but it'll probably be right after Thanksgiving, so at the end of the month. Anyway, so I thought I would pull out this kit, this Hello Hollyhocks kit. And granted, hollyhocks are more of a spring summer kind of plant. Hello, Susan. These are not paper pumpkin, Susan. This is from the Kits collection, so they are available in your market as long as the supplies are available. So anything that comes in the brown box like this is from the Kits collection, and they are available in your market. Paper pumpkins are fun too, and Stampin' Up! Is working on getting those in your market. But this one is a non-stamping kit, and I think, so this one is actually only $16 in the United States. And you get enough materials to make at least 9 cards. You get 9 envelopes. You get all of the adhesive and the parts and pieces and all of the things, adhesive and dots and everything. So I'm not sure what that'll convert to in Australian currency. But these dots are pretty cool. They've got like glitter in them. But it's in the gem, so it doesn't come off on my fingers, which would be a bad thing because glitter makes me crazy. We got some mini dimensionals here. The instructions. If you look at the back, you'll see what the kit contains. So there's 9 cards and 9 envelopes. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Turn on my other light. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. But with any of the kits, even paper pumpkin kits, there is a QR code or a quick response code to see some of the tips on how to just do basic stamping things. And then there's also a QR code for watching the kit that you have. So that's pretty cool. And then the instructions are all in color. So the first page, when you open up the instructions, so when you open it up, that one will tell you what parts you need for each card or project. So, you know, it shows you all the parts and pieces you need for everything. So what I usually do is I start by sorting out all my things. So I usually save my tear and tape for a senior group that I work with, because those ladies are kind of heavy-handed with the glue, and squeezing the bottle sometimes is a challenge. But they do like the tear and tape, so I like to keep those little partial, they're like tear and tape sample rolls. I like to take those with me. So here's the envelopes. They are all the same, but at least you don't have naked envelopes because they will be printed on there. Now I think I've shown how to do like little gift bags out of envelopes before. If you've not seen that, if you want me to make one out of these, let me know. Remind me. So here we've got these Hollyhocks. And then we have, with these kits, you can see there's different languages based on the market. So some of these are English, which I will use. And I'm just punching all three of them out together. So we've got German, French, Dutch, I think, and English. I think those are the three languages they do. So there's French. That must be, I don't know, German and Dutch, I don't know. So you could always keep these other pieces to use the backs, except that there's stitching around here. So to me, it looks like that's the back side, so I don't usually keep those. And the flags, it's the same thing because they are all stitched. So those will go recycle bin for me once I've made sure that I don't have any English ones that I've forgotten to put out. So German, was that what that one was? The hollow is German. All right, so when we see cardstock like this that's printed across the whole panel, I find it difficult to hide that on the back. So when I do alternates, I frequently will cut these in half, put them on a plain colored card base so that I end up with two card fronts. So I will do these today kind of just how they're designed. So these pieces look like they will go with card number 2, which is this one. Now this also looks to me like I could create a pocket and have like a little greeting in the pocket. Or even, you know, if we did the card like this, we could kind of do a fun fold. But then we wouldn't have anywhere for a sentiment. But to me, it looks like this would be perfect to have a pocket on, so I could tuck something inside. All right, so those go with card number 2. And this is card number 1. And that is going to go with the hello. Now this is a non-stamping kit, which means I didn't get an ink spot and I didn't get a stamp set. All right, which is why it's less expensive, because everything is already laser cut and printed. So we don't have to worry about that. So here we get some thanks, 3 of those, and those are going to go on this last card base. And again, this is one where I would typically cut these in half and end up with 6 card fronts instead of just 3. So those will go there. Merci, merci, French. I might like that one. Most people know what that means. And then Danke, that's German, right? Bedankt, that must be Dutch. Now these you could save and use the white sides to do some cute little sentiments on there, or small images even. So did everybody have a good day today? I was kind of busy. Tomorrow we have a busy day too. We are going to go see our newborn great nephew. All right, so that one, there's 3 of these. I just punch them out all at the same time if I can. And then we have this narrow one. And again, I punch out all 3 if I can. Sometimes when they're really intricate, that doesn't work so well. And this one is a frame. So this inside piece was strategically printed. And that's going to go on this one also, this 3rd one. Let's move these in a little bit so you can see more. All right. And then these hollyhocks are going to go on the 1st one. And then we have these foliage pieces. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 of them are going to go on the 2nd card. And 3 of them are going on the 3rd card. And again, these are all laser cut nice for us. I know babies do make everything better. His name is Luca. Oh, I guess this tall one goes on the 3rd card. And his big brother, who is about 2.5, is Theo, and he is very much in love with his little brother, which is so nice. They're just a real sweet family. So we get to go see the baby in the afternoon. And then in the evening, we have dinner plans with friends of ours. It used to be a coworker of mine. And we retired at the same time, intentionally, because neither one of us wanted to work with or training somebody else. So when you get this chipboard piece, if it is a stamping set, hang on to this, because if you don't have a piercing mat that gives you a little cushion with the photopolymer stamps, this works well in a pinch. Or like if you're traveling, if I'm traveling, rather than taking the whole box, I will just take this and a set of snips and maybe a bottle of glue, and I'm good to go. So I have stamped on airplanes, I have stamped in airports, I have stamped in restaurants, on cruise ships, etc. because I take these things with me. Yeah, sometimes when they get older, that is kind of how it happens, huh, Sala? All right, so let's take a look at our instructions now for card number 1. This tells us where we're putting adhesive. We just need tear and tape. So I will follow the instructions for my first card. Sometimes that's a challenge for me. My brother and I never really got along splendidly, even into early adulthood, which is unfortunate. You know, we pretty much fought like cats and dogs most of the time. So this is going to go here, and we'll put just one piece of tear and tape on there. And then he unfortunately was in a car crash at the age of 23, and he did not survive his injuries. So that was unfortunate. We didn't really have a chance to get close. I don't know if we ever would have, but who knows, right? And then we will put this on here. I love these kits because even though I like to do avid or detailed cards, you know, and 3D items and things that take a little bit more time, These kits are so convenient when I need some cards in a hurry. I'm going to be selling some of these kits at the craft fair this weekend, and I want to have samples done for those because, of course, when people can see what the kit looks like made, they have a better idea if that's something they want to purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of my, thank you, Sala. It was a long time ago. He was 23 and he was older than me, so it's been a long, long time. The saddest part for me, I guess, is that his girlfriend was in the car with him. She also did not survive her injuries, and she had, at the time, a 6-year-old daughter. So I felt very bad that that 6-year-old little girl never had her mom really growing up. So that was very sad to me. All right, so we have got our card base. We're going to put down our little, I think that's Calypso Coral. I should be careful so that I get it straight. Let's try to use my grid lines here a little bit. I'll kind of put it along here and try to make it kind of line up. And then this, to me, seems like it should be up on dimensionals. Yeah, I think she ended up living with the grandparents. I'm not certain, but I think the grandparents got custody of her. So she was with family at least. She wasn't like orphaned, you know. And I don't think her biological dad was in the picture, from what I can recall. And then this is just going to come right here. And then we're going to put a few of these little gems on here. And it looks like they're probably all about the same size. I don't see a difference in size. So if we follow the instructions, we're just going to put these like so. And there we've got one card already done. All right. So let's switch this one up a little bit. And if I cut this down, yes, Susan, it doesn't cost anything to be grateful. I think I'm going to cut this in half, and I think I'm going to use my perennial postage dies. I think they're in here. Here they are. And I think I'm going to cut a layer using this one. And I'm going to pull over a cart here. So that I don't have to disrupt everything on my table. Because I don't know how much stuff I'm going to cut and how much I'm just going to leave the way it is. So when I put this in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I'm going to tip it. Hey, Juju. Macman might be asleep. I'm not sure. He went up to bed a little bit ago. But I'll let him know, and he'll watch the replay tomorrow, and he'll complain, why isn't it live yet? But anyway, when I put this through my embossing machine, I'm going to lead with the corner rather than the flat end. Hello, Yuda. Because that way it doesn't have to fight the rollers so much. And so there we've got that. And then we have to decide, this is going to go on dimensionals because I think that'll look better. My guess I only need one of those right now. I think that needs to be raised. And I think we will do probably the Calypso Coral. So let me get a piece of that. And lucky for me, I have one already cut. That works. So we'll put this on here. Hi, Bonnie. Long time no see. You guys were in Juju's live. I stepped in there and I gave a thumbs up, but I didn't pipe in because I was just listening. I was getting stuff organized for my craft fair for Saturday. So I was just trolling, I guess. Alrighty. That's pretty good. And then this piece, I think I'm going to, we'll kind of cut that with the dies too and make that look kind of postagey. So I'll cut that side and then I'm going to flip it and lurking. Is that what I was doing, is lurking? Okay. And then I'll flip it so that it's all outlined. The challenge for this is just lining up the edges. You tried the score blade yesterday and you loved it. Oh, I'm so glad. All right, so that one's going to be ready. So in the score blade, do you mean from the trimmer? So we'll put that there. Yeah, I told Sala we were looking for her, and I even had asked about her yesterday. All right. So I think that's, I think I want it to go this way instead. What do you think? Or maybe on this side. Upright to follow the length of the Hollyhocks. And then this can go over here maybe. What do you think of that with the Hollyhocks? Oh, take your pick tool. Cool. All right, so we're going upright. I do think that looks better with the whole length of the Hollyhocks there, but I tried to follow the instructions. I tried to do that once. And I think with this one, this banner needs a little something to make it stand out. So I think what I'll do is maybe put that on there. Do you think I should flag the end so it matches? Well, thank you, Bonnie. We like to use our own creativity sometimes. Yeah, I used to grow hollyhocks in one of my previous houses, but I've never planted them. Excuse me, I've never planted them where I am now. And I probably should, but I've been here for 25 years. So you'd think if I was going to plant them, I'd plant them by now. But I do have peonies and hostas and some columbine and some flowering trees. So, well, it's very basic. The Stampin' Up! Version is very basic because these are more choreographed, quick, and easy cards. That's what's like, this is a non-stamping kit, and that's what it's supposed to be, just choreographed, something quick, you know, kind of for those people who say, well, I'm not at all creative. Well, guess what? You can be. They don't come back for you, huh? I wonder if, Vanya, kind of agree. I wonder if Hollyhocks, I don't know if you have, I don't remember when I had them because it's just been so long since I had them. But like with gladiolas, you have to pull the bulbs out, at least where I am at, because it gets so cold in the winter. You have to pull the gladiola bulbs out and store them in a cool place and then replant them every year. And I don't know if hollyhocks are the same thing. Do you think I should? I think I should probably flag this a little bit. So Bonnie, yours come back, huh? I should maybe plant some more next year. And I've got some, I think it's called sedum, that was given to me. Oh, and I've got irises that are gorgeous. Purple irises and yellow ones that are just gorgeous. And that little piece doesn't want to come out. But I will get it. There we go. So you mulch them late in the fall. See, I like to just be able to trim stuff back and let it go. Now my roses, I just leave and I don't trim anything on those until in the spring. And that's when I cut out the dead stuff. So I've not put these on yet, so I think I need to move this over maybe just a little bit more. I wonder if I should have put a whole piece to outline that whole thing. We'll put this up on top, I guess. And then I think I'll go ahead and put the hollyhocks down, and then I can slide that Calypso Coral long piece right under the edge. Right under the edge. Little mishap here. Don't mind the noise. My adhesives just went flying, that's all. So if we put this right about there, we'll put some glue on here. And I have things in my garden that I leave. My hostas don't really have, I mean, they get really wet and rotted, And I suppose there are some bugs that would like them. But I have some other plants that are a little more suited, I believe, for the bugs to take up residence over the winter. So like the sedum, I will leave those. My mums, I will leave. I've got some other, my lavender and some of those things that are a little more stalk-ish. I leave those for the bugs. I kind of like these stems. I don't want to cover them up all the way. Ooh, a triple colored iris. Mine are all just single colored, either just the deep, deep purple or the yellow. My peonies, however, I have a light pink, a dark pink, white, and yellow. The yellow one is my favorite. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that right about there. Starship Enterprise. That sounds very interesting. I'm going to look that up. Ooh, that's quite pretty. I may have to look at some of those. All right, and we'll go ahead. We'll put one up here. Maybe we'll put two up here. And maybe one over there. White, red, and light pink. I love flowers. All right, so there we go. Version 1, version 2. And then we'll have, I'll have card bases extra. So what if we did this one into like a fun fold? Let's just fold that back. Oh, and I just saw Salah's comment about putting crafting on hold for right now. You're still creating if you're making socks or whatever it is you're doing. Sometimes you just need that creative break. All right. So what I can do is with this, I can use the white side because then I don't even need any other pieces. Although I could cut this into a few pieces and make another card. So I think we'll hang on to that. But now if I got another piece of the Calypso Coral, and maybe this is this garden green. It's our version. Our version is better. Let's see here. So we've got Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, Fleur de Flamingo, Old Olive. Huh. That looks darker than Old Olive. But it doesn't look like Pretty Peacock to me either. Oh, maybe it does. All right, I'm going to get another piece of, we'll try these greens. Bonnie, you've got to make 250 Christmas cards and you keep putting it off. Well, we are already well into November, so it's really not too early. I was doing Christmas way earlier, Christmas cards way earlier than I usually do. I'm going to go get some colors. I'll be right back. Okay. So I guess that does look pretty good. I think this is the shaded spruce, which wasn't listed. Oops. Shaded spruce was not listed, but I think this is probably pretty peacock, but I think the shaded spruce looks better. So let me get my stylish shapes. Excuse me. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to, that's great, Bonnie. Where do you donate your cards to? I think you've mentioned it before. So what do we want to do here? We could do a couple of circles maybe. Yeah, I was wondering, I need to mail a card to a gal in Canada. And I wondered if the postal strike, if they would go through or not. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple little circles here. And these are my, I think these are the stylish shapes. Yeah, the stylish shapes, guys. And then I just need to figure out what I want to do with this layer. So if we did something like this, with a little layer underneath, I'll cut this down. So what do they do? Several places I donate to a church. Ladies group sells them to make money. Oh, that's nice, Bonnie. So is that revolving striking or they're resolving the striking? I'm going to do 3 3/4 by 5 and see how this looks. So if we do put this in here, so we've got our little layer for a sentiment. We can put this on the front. And this might be too much, I don't know. We'll decide in a minute. And maybe that's too much. It's hard to say. Do you think that's too much color? And then what this would do is it would go like this. What do you think? Too much color? So it is a revolving strike, huh? So do they go on strike for a while and they come back and work for a while? Or do they just have part of the workforce? Okay. Do they have just part of the workforce on duty all the time so that they just don't have enough people? Like a pop-up? Oh, oh, okay. Hello, Zippity Doodah. The yellow is... So you don't think the yellow looks good? I thought the yellow, because there's some yellow in here. The yellow looks like the sun. But then you're a color harmony person, huh, Zippity? What if we just did a little yellow? Because I'm just trying to pull out some of the yellows that are in here. And let's see if it lists the yellow as a color. Maybe a lighter yellow? I can look for a lighter yellow. Daffodil Delight, though, that's what this is. I pulled in the Daffodil Delight because that's what listed here. So I've got a lighter yellow. Let me take a look. We'll see how it looks. It's just paper. So this one's Lemon Lolly. Let's see how that looks. This might look better. That lighter yellow, the lighter yellow might do the trick. All right, so Bonnie, you do not like the green. Maybe I need to pull in the Pretty Peacock instead. Maybe you would like the Pretty Peacock better. So here's this. Because the Pretty Peacock is what what color the sentiment is also. And maybe I need to make the square a little bit smaller. Well, that'll work, I guess. I just don't want to have one little tip over here showing, unless that's really what we want it to do. You could probably have it something like that. I was just trying to cover up the end here of the square so it wasn't just sticking out there. Let me go get the Pretty Peacock and see how that looks. And maybe even a different color circle would, or a different size circle would work. So that's with the Pretty Peacock. I just think it helps set off or draws out the colors in there. And if I have it layered here, they're kind of evenly spaced there. What do you think of that? Yay or nay? What about no orange? Gotta hand the green. I don't know what that means. It's actually pretty peacock. It's a turquoisey bluish green. Got to have the green. Okay, so you do like that darker color in there. Okay. Nope, and it needs the orange. So what if I did another circle instead of the square? Let me find a different size here that'll fit this last scrap that I have of the Calypso Coral. What if we did something like that? Instead of having a square, keep it square? What's everybody else think? Circle or square? Looks like balloons. Is that a bad thing? Because I could also put a layer of Calypso Coral behind here. Or maybe a lighter, maybe let's see what the pink was. You like the square, too many circles? Okay. Let's see. Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo. Let me go get those colors. Oh, Flirty Flamingo might be good. Okay, so this is more pink. This is definitely Calypso Coral, I think. So I don't think I want this Flirty Flamingo. Let's see what Petal Pink looks like. Okay. So we could do a little layer under here. And that will help set that off a little bit. And then if we take this out and do the Petal Pink instead, let me try it with the square first. Oh, Yuda, yeah, we're on the same page. With that matte on that layer on the inside. All right, so what do we think of this? So we're kind of back to the original design, just instead of the bright Calypso Coral, which is this darker color in here, we're using the lighter Petal Pink that's kind of like this color here. Can you see that? So we've got the Calypso Coral more in here, and then the lighter Petal Pink is there. So we got one vote for darker. And one vote for lighter. Needs the orange square. So you like the darker one? So should I make the darker square smaller? Because I could do a smaller version of that. Or do we kind of like it how big it is? And then that'll go there. This will be up on dimensionals right about there. Yes. Okay. All right, so first step, let's do the inside layers and get those affixed. Welcome back, Sala. We just worked through our fun fold of the first card for the third version. Oops. I guess I should have, let me put this one on because I forgot I had that cut out there. See, sometimes it just takes playing around with the colors, right? I'm gonna do it this way. There's a little rough edge around that one corner, so I'm gonna kind of hide it in the fold. All right, and then this, I'm using the front piece from here, and I just flipped it over so we've got the white layer here. All right, so that'll go there. And then this piece, we're just going to put glue on half of this because of the fun fold, obviously. And we'll put that about in the middle, maybe just a little closer to the top than to the bottom. And then I'm going to put these two together. Kind of like so. And then I'm just going to have about the same amount of that Calypso coral showing there. So we've got just a little hint of color all the way there. So we can put glue on the whole back of this. And then this is going to go here, but I think I want this up on dimensionals. It's the time of year when it starts getting cold out, I get the edges of my thumbs crack, and it's very uncomfortable. Does anybody else get those? I should probably put like lotion on my hands more often. All right, And I do not want these stems hanging off this side, so that's why I'm putting it here. And then that's going to hang over a little bit. So I probably could have moved these over a little further, but I guess we'll just put this on the top. And that'll be all right. We'll put a dimensional up here. And then we'll put some glue over on this side. Yeah, I have special hand cream that doesn't have any fragrance in it. And it's not greasy either. Oh, my dimensional is hanging over the edge here. So we're going to have to trim that just a little bit. I have a propensity for skin cancers. So I have to be very careful what I put on my skin. So the fewer chemicals and whatever in it, the better. So again, I'm trying to get these points to line up so I don't have this random piece of that Calypso coral showing underneath. And I would say that that's better. I'm going to try to tuck just a little bit of that dimensional in so it doesn't show. All right, let's put some gems on this little puppy. Yeah, Bonnie, it is a nuisance to have to be careful all the time. My skin issues started when I was probably not even a teenager. And I actually, a few years back, I think I've talked about it before, I had melanoma on my face by my eyelid, the corner of my eye and the lower eyelid. So they had to do a very extensive surgery to remove, and basically they had to peel my skin off of my cheek area so that they could stretch it over to do the repair, and they had to take skin from behind my ear and do skin grafting for the eyelids. It was not a fun year, let me tell you. All right, so here we've got all of these other little pieces. Oh, I guess that goes here. Yeah, I've had my nose, my forehead, my side, my cheek, my neck, shoulder, torso. Basically, the whole upper half of my body has had the top of my head. Just ton of different issues, but I'm here to talk about it, so it's all good. All right, so here's our 3 versions. Yeah, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? You figure my Hodgkin's was worse, so that was 8 months of chemo. But again, I'm here to talk about it, and that was, let's see, that was a long time ago now. So if we're at 2025 minus 97, so I'm at 28 years. Survivor of my Hodgkin's. So, what do we think? 1, 2, or 3? What's your favorite? Can you see them all? Let me scooch them over just a little bit. Now, sleep studies are fun. All right, so this is everybody's favorite so far. I like one of these two. I kind of like this one because it's just got such a wide variety of color, but I like this one because of the bright contrast. So, good job, ladies. I love them all. All right, and then we've got our coordinating envelopes for all of them. So, we're going to leave this one on top because that's kind of like our favorite. And there. All right, so let's do the next one. I don't think I'm going to make alternates out of these other two, but at least you kind of get the idea. So even if there's a kit that you don't particularly like, fix it into something that you do like. This would be kind of fun if it was this way. You could fold that in. I suppose you could do that here too. This just, Juju, I think before you got here, I just said, this looks like it should be a pocket to me with stuff in it. So we're going to do it how they show us. All right, so we've got that. We need this with some tear and tape on the back. And then these two, these belong over here. So one each of these. And those both get tear and tape on the back, but it doesn't show anything about these. These are always kind of risky, like what's going to fall off, right? So I'm just going to use some glue. I know the glue doesn't come in the kit, but it's kind of my adhesive of choice. And they've got these laid right on top of each other. And those are going to be hidden behind the banner. Or on top of the banner, it wouldn't really matter because this is going to go here. And I think I'm going to make them go kind of like this. Standing up like this kind of looks goofy to me because it almost interferes with the flowers. So I think I'm going to not necessarily follow the instructions all the way. And I think I'm going to make this a little shorter. So I'm kind of following the instructions. And we'll get rid of this little nub here. There we go. And then I'm going to tuck those pretty far under there, I think. Pretty far. And I don't have to worry about them getting caught going in and out of the envelope really either, because they'll be, whoops, they'll be pretty much in control. They'll be controlled. Contained. They'll be contained. That's it. Hopefully I'll have to use my eraser for this because it got a little bit on there. Got a little bit of a mess there, but it's coming off. There we go. There. Nobody will ever know but you ladies. There's still a little bit on there. I guess I did a number on that. There we go. All right. Let's do a little bit more glue here, make sure we have enough. All right. Oh, and I'm actually going to put this on dimensionals, I think, anyway. I want that tucked a little deeper. I want to kind of like that stem going right along the line of that diagonal too. All right, let's put that on dimensionals. That'll help keep all those little pieces contained too. Juju, are you using your take your pick tool? All right. Guess it would help if I had that sentiment kind of straight though. I guess my banner's crooked. Oh well, it looks like it's flapping in the breeze. All right, let's put some gems on here. Oh, I got a little bit of glue hanging over there. I wonder if a gem would look good sitting on there. That'll cover up that adhesive. We'll put that in the center of the flower. I think this one needs some like a Stella too. Because there's an awful lot of flowers on here that could use some glimmer. You're not going to be able to see the Winka Stella much, but it looks pretty good. All right. So there's card number 2 with its coordinating little envelope. So that's pretty cute too. So here's how it was supposed to look. And here's how it does look. So they had the banner more across the bottom here, cutting off that piece. But I like how that looks. I don't really want to cover that up. And then they've got these sprigs going straight up, cutting into the flowers, and I like them off to the side better. So that's what we're doing. All right, and let's go to the very last one. And I'll end up cutting these in half too, is my guess. And we've got a little frame here. The frame needs to be put up on dimensionals. So the instructions just say 1 dimensional on that floral piece, but I'm going to use more. And then these corners get covered. I'm going to use those little half-size ones. And then I need a little something. A little something there. I guess we'll just take this one and trim it down. And we'll put that here. And we'll take another little snip piece and put it down at the bottom in the middle too. All right, and it wants one of these under here. I don't think I like that. So here's what the instructions show. So it wants me to just put this piece here and then this piece like so. I guess that looks all right. I'm kind of thinking no. I'm going to snip this off and I'm going to tuck this here so it's peeking out there. Because sometimes I just struggle following instructions. I guess I probably should have put the glue on the front instead of on the back. That's right, we'll put a dimensional on that. I'll hold it in place. All right, so that'll go there, and then this piece is going to sit over here somehow. I think I'm going to snip off that too. And we'll just tuck that behind here. And then we can take these backings off and attach it to the card base. Oops. A little overzealous there. There we go. And then this piece will go there. Pretty quiet here tonight. There we go. Well, maybe you're not as quiet as I thought. My screen wasn't scrolling up. Now I have to catch up on some of these comments. All right. Put those there. And this one I'm just going to put a little glue on the edge. We've talked about sleep before, Bonnie. Sleep might be just a little overrated. Sally, you go ahead and take your nap if you need to. All right, some gems, and I'll be done. Ooh, Yuta, you get to rearrange your studio space, huh? I'm going to put this one under here. Okay, and then let's get that Wink of Stella again. Just highlight some of these flowers. Maybe all of the flowers. I have to go work at the college tomorrow and train the gal that replaced me on some things. I have to train her on some things. It's the gal that replaced me. And then we're going to go see the baby. And then we're going to meet friends for dinner. So it will be a busy day for me as well. So here's our final card for tonight. I'm going to call it a night too. And let's recap what we did. So I've just got a couple more cards to make, 2 each of the second and third one. And we'll flip those out and see what I do with those. All right, so this one is pretty close. I just moved over this sprig here so that there was some coming out of here. So that's pretty cute. This one I pretty much followed the instructions, but one of those sprigs coming out. And then this one, we went all crazy. So there's the Stampin' Up version. Here's our fun fold version. And then here's our favorite version. That almost looks like a little window. Like it could have been cut out of that layer. And I'll put a layer inside there too. So those were actually pretty fun. Thanks for chiming in and giving your opinions as to how you thought they should have been put together. And that's it. That's all I have for you tonight. Sarah, it was nice to have you back again. Enjoy having you here, crafting with us. Thanks, Juju. All right, well, Yuta, I hope, I don't know if Linda's still here. Bonnie, enjoy your day. Thank you all for popping in. Happy crafting.